Hello, happy Sunday. So, wow. So I just want to preface this little chat that we're going to have right now by saying that a year ago, I would never in a million years hop on to live looking like this without any notes. So I am totally just coming at you guys, speaking from the heart, looking like I just got out of the gym, which I did. And we are just going to chat a little bit about, hey Dylan, we are just going to chat a little bit about the 3 key components of showing up confidently in any room and just feeling like, you know, your voice matters, feeling like people are actually listening, and feeling like people actually give a shit about what you have to say. So, like I said, the old version of me, hey Chris, nice to see you here. So, like I said earlier, the old version of me used to be absolutely terrified to speak because I genuinely thought that nobody could really relate to me. I genuinely thought that nobody really understood what I was saying, and I really thought that nobody gave a shit what I was saying. And so, because I had that story in my head, that was kind of the story that I carried into any situation, any room, and that made it really hard for me to actually want to use my voice, right? Because if you've got a story in your head that, you know, people are gonna hear you and immediately respond with mean words or judgment or rejection, that makes it really hard to actually say what you want to say because you're so caught up in all of these stories and all of these beliefs that I promise you are not true, that you end up not really holding space for the other person. It gets really hard for you to actually listen and be part of the conversation because you're so caught up in all these stories in your head, right? So these days, I'm able to do things like this, just show up on camera without a plan, without a script in front of me, without putting on makeup or doing my hair. And I can also show up in any room, regardless of who's there, regardless of who's listening. And I'm able to just speak from the heart and trust that they are going to hear me and understand me and really be there to listen, and it's going to be a great conversation. I walk into any room knowing that whatever conversation I'm about to have is going to go well. So what has changed for me? What have I done? And how can you guys start to do this if you're feeling a little bit anxious or you're feeling like nobody cares? So the first thing that I really want you guys to think about is I want you to understand that, like, one of the biggest things is you really need to own your voice, all right? You need to own your voice. So what does that mean? You need to trust that whatever you need to say, whether that's asking questions or, you know, just speaking from your mind or your heart or advocating for yourself or sharing your ideas, that's all that people really want from you, all right? So if you can just trust yourself to say what's actually on your mind without overthinking it, to say what's actually on your heart to say without overthinking it, without making stories, that is going to really help you. And one of the ways that you can definitely practice this is practice speaking to the mirror, practice speaking to a really close friend of yours, practice speaking to your partner if that feels good, and just try to catch yourself when you find yourself not actually saying what you think or not actually saying what you mean. When you find yourself like overthinking it and trying to filter yourself for the other person, I want you to call yourself out for it because it's really going to make a difference, and you're going to notice when you're more likely to do that. Maybe that happens around certain topics or around certain people. So I really want you to like kind of become conscious of when you're not owning your voice and when you're not actually saying what you want to say. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I have done a lot of work to become really confident and really okay with just showing up as myself. You know, for a long time, I would put this facade on or put this mask on or try to mold myself into a version of myself that I thought other people wanted me to be. The problem with that is that, like, I'm not a mind reader, so, and neither are you. So I couldn't possibly know what other people wanted me to be or how they wanted me to show up because I can't read their minds, right? And the thing is, everybody has different tastes. Everybody has different preferences. And so I felt like I was constantly like, wow, I'm missing the word right now. I was constantly just like a hamster, like running on a wheel. I don't think that's the right analogy, but I felt like I didn't have like a consistent personality, right? Because I was always bouncing back and forth, trying to be something different for everyone, trying to make everybody happy. And the thing is, when you try to appeal to everybody's taste, you end up just kind of being this like blob or this weird version of yourself that's not actually really who you are. So I want you guys to challenge yourselves to try to show a little bit more of who you actually are and let it be okay. All right? So if you find yourself, saying things that don't actually align with you, or if you find yourself kind of putting on a little bit of an act, again, I want you to call yourself out. It really will change the way that you show up and the way that you embody who you are. And this is something that we go into way deeper inside of Mastering Conversation. We talk about things like trusting your intuition and just leaning into yourself and leaning into your personality, etc. And last but not least, the final and probably the most important thing to showing up confidently is trust. Trust is probably the most important piece. So I'm talking about trust in yourself. The trust in yourself that whatever you say is going to be amazing. It's going to be exactly what you need to say. Trusting your people, so the people around you, to accept who you are and trusting that it's going to be enough for them. Trusting that you're always getting exactly what you need out of the world and that you're actually exactly in the right place, right? Trusting that being your authentic, amazing self is more than enough. So I want you to really think about this idea of trust and how can you trust yourself? How can you trust the people around you? How can you just trust the universe to allow you to just embody exactly who you are, say exactly what you need to say, and be accepted by whoever's in the room, right? Once you lean into this trust factor, it's going to change the game. But before we do that, we really need to get clear on who am I? What do I want to say? How can I embody what I want to say and who I am and bring that into every conversation? And can I trust that when I say what I'm going to say, what I want to say, when I speak my heart, when I speak my mind, and when I show people exactly who the fuck I am, can I trust that that's more than enough? That's more than enough for myself. It's more than enough for them, and they're going to absolutely love me. And when you can really embody that trust factor, you stop worrying about what they're going to think. You stop overthinking it, and it becomes a lot easier to actually speak from the heart. And what happens is that when you're speaking from the heart and you're really leaning into that trust, the conversation you don't have to deal with that awkward, all those awkward spaces and gaps in your conversations, right? You kind of just know what to say, right? And you know that even if you can't anticipate what they're going to say in response to you, you really start to learn that this conversation is going to go exactly how it's supposed to go, right? Because you're trusting that the universe is always giving you exactly what you need. So this is a little bit of a ramble. Like I said, I did not prepare anything. I did not make any notes, and I had really no plan to hop on a live, but I decided to show you what it looks like to actually embody all three of these things. Owning your voice, right? Being your authentic self, and actually trusting that the message is going to be received by the people watching and engaging. So this is exactly what I mean by that. So if you guys want my support in going from feeling afraid to use your voice and feeling like, nobody cares what you have to say, or feeling like, you don't matter and nobody gives a shit, to feeling confident to speak in any room, then please send me a DM, say the word conversations, or just drop any questions that you have, any struggle that you're feeling about just showing up and feeling confident in your conversations, and let's chat about it, okay? We can hop on a call, we can talk in the DMs, whatever. But Mastering Conversations is exactly where you need to be. But you know what? Hop into my DMs, let's talk about it. And let's see if you are a great fit. I promise you, if you've gotten all the way through this live and you're feeling called to lean into this, I promise you, just trust yourself, right? We're going to get you exactly where you need to be. And if I was able to get to the point where I can trust myself and I'm able to show up as myself and I'm able to just be myself in any room, no matter who's watching, I promise it's possible for you. Because I used to be the most shy, awkward, timid person. I used to be terrified of hopping on camera. I used to be so nervous around other people. But I promise you, we're going to take you from there to a confident, social, powerful person. So, super excited about this program, and I'm super excited to chat with you. Thank you for watching.